Your bank account looks fine, bills paid, nothing alarming, but there's a crack forming right now that you can't see, not in your budget, in something deeper. Ancient wisdom called it a character fissure. Modern psychology calls it decision collapse, and the moment it breaks through, you don't lose money gradually, you lose everything at once. 3 in the morning, that's when it happens, not during business hours, not when you're thinking clearly. The fissure opens in that space between logic and panic, and by sunrise, a decade of discipline can vanish. I've seen the pattern repeat: smart people, stable careers, solid foundations, then one pressure point, one emotional override, and the structure that took years to build doesn't crack slowly, it shatters. If you recognize the fissure before it fractures, you can seal it, miss it, and the break becomes irreversible. The mistake isn't buying something you can't afford. The fatal break happens earlier. It starts with a compromise so small you justify it instantly. A tiny deviation from your financial principles, not because you lack knowledge, because something in your character structure shifted under pressure. Think of structural integrity in engineering. A building doesn't collapse from wind. It collapses from microfractures in the foundation that weaken over time. One day, normal stress becomes catastrophic failure. Your financial life operates the same way. The devastating loss doesn't come from ignorance. It comes from a character fissure you didn't know existed until pressure revealed it. Most financial education teaches you what to do: budget, save, invest, but no one teaches you to inspect your character structure for hidden weaknesses, the places where, under specific emotional pressure, your integrity will crack. Fear reveals one type of fissure, desire reveals another, urgency another, and the dangerous part, you can't see your own cracks. They're invisible until the moment they split open. The pattern repeats with precision. Stage 1: invisible stress accumulates, not financial stress, emotional, a relationship fracture, a career threat, a health scare, something that has nothing to do with money creates pressure on your character structure. Stage 2: a small financial decision appears, harmless on the surface, but it requires you to bend a principle, just once, just this time, just because circumstances are different. Stage 3: the fissure opens. You make the compromise. Your brain immediately constructs justification. You didn't break discipline. You adapted to reality. You were smart and flexible. Stage 4: the crack widens. Because once your character structure learns it can bend under pressure, it remembers. Next stress, same pattern. Easier each time, the fissure deepening. Stage 5: catastrophic failure, not months later, sometimes within days. One major decision hits the weakened structure and everything collapses. The savings you built, the discipline you practiced, the future you planned. And here's what makes it fatal: you don't recognize it as character collapse. You blame circumstances, bad timing, bad luck, bad advice. Anything except the truth. Your integrity had a hidden fissure and pressure found it. Connor, 33, operations manager at a distribution company. Single, living in a one-bedroom apartment, rent $1,350 monthly. Salary, $3,700, $6 years of disciplined saving. Emergency fund, $8,200. Tuesday, October 8th, 1:47 a.m. Connor woke up throat tight. Tomorrow his sister would lose her apartment. Eviction final. She'd called crying, 3 kids, nowhere to go. He opened his banking app, stared at that $8,200. His emergency fund, 6 years, never touched. His finger hovered over transfer. The thought that went through his mind: her emergency is my emergency. Family first, the rule still applies. He transferred $3,400, felt relief flood his chest, closed the app, went back to sleep. The fissure had opened. Friday, October 11th, his car's check engine light. Mechanic's diagnosis, $1,800 repair, cannot wait. Connor checked his balance, $4,800 left in emergency fund. He could cover it. But now that fund felt flexible, not sacred anymore. He'd used it for family. Why not delay the repair 1 month, save the emergency fund for something bigger? He drove on the failing transmission 3 more weeks. November 2nd, the transmission died completely on the highway. Tow truck, rental car while awaiting parts. New total, $4,300. Emergency fund, $500 remaining. The character fissure that opened at 1:40 1:47 a.m. had collapsed his entire financial structure in 25 days. Connor didn't lose money because he helped his sister. He lost everything because he proved to himself that his principles were negotiable under emotional pressure. Once that fissure opened, every subsequent decision widened it. You can't prevent pressure, you can only strengthen structure before it hits. Ancient builders didn't wait for cracks, they tested foundations intentionally, applied controlled stress, found weak points, reinforced them before real weight arrived. Your character structure needs the same inspection. The fissure test works like this: identify your financial principles, the non-negotiables. Emergency fund stays emergency. No purchases over $200 without 48-hour wait. Debt payments first, always. Now apply hypothetical pressure. Sister needs money. Would you break the rule? Boss offers opportunity requiring you to drain savings. Would you take it? Friend mocks your frugality. Would you prove them wrong with a purchase? If you hesitate even slightly, you've found your fissure, the place where your character structure is weakest, where real pressure will break you. Seal it now, not with willpower, with identity reconstruction. You don't save money because it's smart. You save because violating that principle would mean you're not who you believe yourself to be. The foundation of your identity rests on it. When pressure comes, and it will, your identity holds when willpower fails, because breaking the rule doesn't just cost money, it costs your sense of self. The ancient wisdom understood: wealth follows character, not strategy. Fix your character structure first. The financial structure builds on top of that foundation. If the foundation has fissures, no budget saves you. 3 pressure points reveal hidden fissures faster than anything else. Urgency: when time compresses decision-making, your character's true structure shows. No time to think means your foundation alone determines action. If the foundation has cracks, urgency splits them open. Scarcity: when resources feel limited, fear tests your principles. Grab now or lose forever. This pressure finds fissures you didn't know existed. How you behave when you believe you're losing reveals everything. Authority: when someone you respect contradicts your principles, compliance pressure tests your structure. If your identity isn't anchored deeper than their approval, the fissure appears instantly. Most people never test these pressure points intentionally. They wait until real crisis applies them. By then, testing becomes consequence. The wise test their structure in controlled conditions. They create artificial urgency. Practice saying no when authority demands yes. Sit with scarcity without reacting. Like fire drills, you don't practice evacuating during an actual fire. You build the pattern when it's safe. So when real smoke appears, your body knows what to do before your brain catches up. Your financial character needs the same training. Test your fissures before life does. Right now, before this video ends, do this. Open your banking app, look at your emergency fund. If you don't have one, look at your checking balance. Ask yourself one question: under what circumstance would I touch this money for something other than its intended purpose? Write down your answer, be brutally honest, not the answer you wish were true, the answer that's actually true. Now look at that answer, that's your fissure, the exact place where pressure will break your financial structure. You have 2 choices: seal it now or wait for life to shatter it later. Sealing requires identity work. Who are you when pressure hits? Are you someone whose principles flex, or someone whose foundation holds? Not a moral judgment, a structural assessment. Flexible foundations collapse under weight, rigid ones distribute load and stand. Choose your identity before crisis chooses for you, because the person you become at 1:47 a.m. determines whether you wake up broke or disciplined. Connor rebuilt. Took him 18 months, not to recover the money, to reconstruct his character structure, to understand that family emergencies aren't exemptions to principles. They're exactly when principles matter most. He still helps his sister, but through systems that don't crack his foundation, because he learned the hard truth: losing money to help others is noble. Losing your character structure to feel noble is destruction. Comment fissure sealed if you identified your character crack and committed to structural repair. If you're the type who knows that financial discipline starts with character inspection, The video on screen shows you how to build a foundation that holds under any pressure. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to check their structure before it's tested. Subscribe because every week I reveal the timeless principles that create lasting financial stability. Become a member for exclusive frameworks on character-based wealth building that modern advice ignores. And drop in the comments what's the one emotional pressure point that threatens your financial foundation. Let's identify and seal these fissures together before they fracture.